magnet school.
Okay, so we kind of already introduced this, but I'll just simply go through our roles. So so we all founded this club together last year, and Dip mainly does design and testing. Loki does build, Veda does data analysis, and I do research. And finally, our team mentor is Dr. Weinstein, who is a civil and mechanical teacher at our school.
So our mission statement is to pursue model rockets frontiers as a club. And our objective is to design, launch, and safely land rockets for height and timing goals. Some tech that we use is CAD and simulation for aerodynamics and figuring out the optimal propellant to use. And we continuously learn throughout the process by gathering knowledge from our experience and launches, and then reading books and asking questions from our mentors. We also are committed to innovating, and we push the limits of the rockets by designing them to be more efficient and more powerful.
Alright, so this is our journey. So we started from very humble beginnings in DuPont's neon green room. This was our very first meeting. All of us were kind of at the very beginnings of our stage, and we were just understanding how everything worked. So we built our first rocket here, and then shortly after, we moved to Senjars. You will see some fine gentlemen in the back. They are from Senjars, and they help us launch our rockets. So we launched our first rocket at Senjars, and we reiterated on the design, and at the same time, we joined another competition called RFS, which is a larger scale of rocket that happens in Wisconsin. So we flew to Wisconsin, we won first place for our division. And then shortly after using our experience from Senjars and the launches we did, we qualified for our American rocketry competition. And we also met an astronaut at Wisconsin, which was really fun, and it was a really good experience because you get to learn from someone in the field.
Alright, so now we're going to be talking about the biggest competition that we participate in, which is ARC, or the American Rocketry Challenge. So our team, Mach Lightspeed, were fortunate enough to have the resources and mentors to qualify for the finals competition last year. And it was our first year competing, so that was a really great achievement. And how the competition works is there are 3 qualification launches that you have to do. And from those 3 qualification launches, 2 of them are submitted. So the 2 rockets that go towards the altitude and timing goals that you want to most accurately, those are submitted. And we do our qualification launches at Senjars, which we talked about before. And how scores are calculated, it's the lowest score that matters, right? So the higher scores are not desirable, and lower scores are what you desire. Every second off from the 41 to 44 second timing goal, you get 4 points taken off. And every foot off from the apogee, which is maximum altitude, 790 feet, it's 1 point off. And fewer points is better.
So one thing about rockets is that you can easily make a rocket that goes 5,000 feet. You can go as high as physically possible. But where it becomes where Mach rocketry is at its pinnacle is when you have to reach a goal and you have to do it as accurately as possible. If I were going to the ISS, I don't want to accidentally go to the moon, or I don't want to accidentally go to Mars. Of course, it's possible, but the goal is to get there in the right amount of time, with the right amount of fuel, right amount of money, and accomplish the goal as efficiently as possible.
So now I'm going to talk about what happens after ARC. So after the top 100 teams go to nationals, the winning team goes to the IRC, or International Rocketry Challenge, which is held either in the Paris Air Show or the Farnborough Air Show. And teams from other countries such as China, UK, and France participate too. And the top 25 teams from the 100 that go to nationals are given a chance to apply to NASA Student Launch Initiative, which is a 9-month-long challenge, and it's the rocket right behind Ishan over there on the bottom. It's similar to that, where you have to design your own rocket completely, and it's a much higher altitude target and timing target.
Okay, so now we have some stories through ARC. So one person that actually participated in the American Rocketry Challenge ended up becoming an astronaut that went to the ISS, and we actually got to meet him at the national level when we went to Virginia. And another team over here at DIP talks about, after ARC, the first place team goes to IRC, which is the International Rocketry Competition, and this was a team, and they ended up getting second place. So, and we also met them at nationals as well, which was quite a big achievement for them, and we hope to get to that stage next year as well. So now I'm going to be talking a little bit about Rockets for Schools. So, Rockets for Schools is a bit different from the American Rocketry Challenge, where you have to design a rocket that goes at a certain apogee or altitude. So the difference is that you have to build a unique payload for your rocket that you carry up to a certain altitude, and you have to present this payload to a group of judges through a presentation. And they provide you with a high-power rocket kit and educational materials to build a rocket, even though that's not the main part of the competition. But you're still judged based off your rocket finish, how you build it, the paint job, and your sanding, and you have to make sure it's your build is absolutely perfect. And we also have to complete a worksheet and submit, which was based off a paper that we had to read on the history of model rockets. And we also have to design a mission patch. And as they talked about, NASA Alive, which is a competition held in Alabama, the top 5 from the L2 division get to go to NASA Alive, which is the next stage. And last year we participated in the L1 division, L1 senior division, where we got first place. And you have to participate in L1 before you can go to L2. So this year we're going to be doing L2, and hopefully we can get to NASA SLI as well. And we also have a video over here of some launches that happened at the competition. And also that's our rocket on the side, which is also over here, which we'll let you take a look at later.
Rom is part of Team C, Team Cooking. What we do is we mentor teams B, C, and D in their things.
So basically, we used our experience from going into brand new last year in order to guide other teams this year. So we formed 3 new teams as part of a school organization. So Ram is from Team C, as we mentioned before, and they come with us to every launch and they make their own rockets. And then once they find the best rocket and we find the best team out of those 3, we'll take one to RFS to compete with us.
And this is us as the NJARs together, Team C and Team B as well.
So some of our club goals is to launch every month at Senjars with at least 4 team members from each launch, and host 1 or 2 design construction meetings every month. We also have an entire process where we have launch reports every month of all the data we got. For example, when we launched, what was the temperature, what was the wind speed, how high did it go, how much did the rocket weigh, how much time did it take, how much time did the other section take. So we have a variety of data collection, and the research analysis sub-team works on that to determine what was the cause of the rocket not performing optimally if it didn't, and if it did perform very well, what did we do right. And we have many deadlines, such as the team names and logos, which is due December 1st before registration, and all our teams are encouraged to get sponsorships to reduce the load on their personal financial.
Okay, so this is just a brief overview of your average rocket components. So there's many different types of rockets, so this isn't like a set blueprint, but these are the kind of rockets we use for ARC. So as you can see at the top, this is your nose cone. This is it's just a piece of plastic that makes your rocket more aerodynamic. This can drastically affect how much drag your rocket has, how high it gets. If you put a rounded end, you might find more stability. If you put a sharper end, you might find a higher altitude. So this is one of the more important characteristics of making the entire rocket aerodynamic.
We also hosted a library session last year where we talked to a bunch of families and we also participate in similar activities. And we also have social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Discord.
Alright, so before we end the presentation, we want to remind you that engineering is the closest thing to magic, which is what Elon Musk said. So, if you want to follow us on Instagram, that's our handle, @arc_Mach_Lightspeed. Alright, that's it. Thank you guys for coming, and I hope you learned something from this presentation.
I want to introduce St. John's management here. They actually helped them to reach here until they are, means without their help, they cannot reach here. So Brian and Nicholas, you can come and tell something about it. Actually, means as they are building the rocket, but they cannot fly everywhere. So we have some dedicated space and license insured everything, and we have very highly qualified and dedicated mentor. They are guiding them to reach here. So they are here now, they can tell us about the club, where they are doing. So we have the club president, Mr. Brian. So Brian, you can start.
Yes, I'm the president of St. Jars. St. Jars existed for a little over 15 years. We fly on a large athletic complex down in Wall, New Jersey. It's just off of exit 98 on the Parkway. We have members from South Jersey, North Jersey, a couple from Pennsylvania, and quite a few even in New York that show up at the launches. Dick Tanshu has come down. He came down about a year ago, found us, said what he wanted to do. He wanted to get into this rocketry, do competition stuff. He actually attained last year his level 1 certification, which means he can launch with motors in the first tier of high power rocket motors under a junior program that was established by the NAR. And so I was privy to do that with him. We had to go down to Maryland to a launch site because of the high power we launched there. Anyway, anybody's welcome to come out to our club and join. We fly usually the first Sunday of the month. This is our website. The launches are on the main page of the site. There's a lot of other information on there. We have a gallery. You can see some of our rockets on the pads and flying, as well as some of our tomfoolery. We have a lot of fun at our launches. Put up photo albums for every month. We have a forum. We can do a lot of discussion for things there. The calendar on there for various events, usually the launches, which are, like I said, every month. But we do a couple of outreach things with scouts, schools. There's that one thing at Wall, the Kids Day thing.
So if your school or anywhere you want to do the outreach program of the rocket, you can let them know or let us know. We can coordinate with them. They can go and do the school program in for rocket.
I'll come in and teach it, as long as they know calculus.
Thank you for coming.
Look, I just want to end this by thanking everyone for coming. Over there we have the activity station with these little straw rockets.
Well, not necessarily a question, but just a really comment. This is incredible. I mean, this is the first I've heard about this, and I think it's really incredible the work you're doing, and it takes a lot of work, and I'm glad you guys formed this team, and it's no joke that you made it up there to nationals and everything. That's great. Yeah.
Our future astronauts, right there.
Yeah.
That's how you start.
I actually have an actual question. Do you guys want to go to space?
No.
Yeah.
Personally, I would.
Okay.
I can't speak for them.
And what about you guys? You guys want to? Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Actually, in their team, the 4 people, 2 are from mechanical engineering and
Okay.
2 are from computer background.
Okay.
So when they do that payload and other stuff, so 2 people are doing that building part and 2 people are doing
Oh,
all
it's
coding.
space
and
So
all
they
that.
help the people going there.
Yeah.
They want to do.
I'm assuming you guys found out living in space is really complicated, right? That's why you say no. It's not always fun.
They'll be lucky if they can put a rocket into space. Not with actually human payloads, but.
Well, seeing is believing, so come down to a launch, once you see it, you're gonna wanna.
And the club is not just for guys like these starting out. A lot of adults, me, I was pretty much on the verge of retiring when I started getting into rocketry more. we have people of all ages and all experience levels, from beginners of any age to people who've been doing this for many years of any age. So,
How old's
if
this
you know
guy over
anybody
here?
who wants to come get involved in
Ben?
it, come on
Yeah,
down.
I think we have a couple even younger than 10.
Yeah.